Hello, today Noob does water and ice vending kiosk machines. These things are awesome. They're about the size of a parking spot, as you can see there, 13 feet tall, and they produce 10 or 20 pound bags as well as up to 5 gallons of water. I was able to purchase 2 of them in Utah, and for those that haven't watched my previous videos or read the previous comments, I'm actually in Arizona, so too far away for me to manage, but my father lives in Utah and he agreed to manage them for me, which is the only reason I purchased them. But after we get them set up, they should be semi-passive, maybe only check on them once every other week just to make sure there's no clogs or any issues like that. The most work is going to need to be done to get them up and running for the season because the previous owner only ran them for 6 months out of the year, the warm months, and then would shut them down during the cool months in Utah so that way the internals wouldn't freeze. And he said the money makers on these machines are the bagged ice. So people aren't buying bagged ice in the winter because they're not going out of the lakes or picnicking or anything like that. But these are actually 7 years old, and I don't know how much they cost him originally, but now they were purchased from Ice House of America. So if you went there, they're over $100,000 for a new one. I was able to pick up the 2 with locations already and previous years being there so people know they're there, which is a cool story about that I'll tell in a second. I was able to purchase both of them for $20,000 total, which is amazing. I jumped on that as fast as I could. I'm hoping to make more than that back within my first 6 months of running them. He said the best month he ever had with these machines was one of them had $4,000 in a month, which is amazing. And he said they average around $3,000 each per month, which would be great if that is true. You do have to have a couple subscriptions services with them just so you can run everything remotely. The credit card readers, that costs about $10 a piece per month, and then they charge about 6%, which isn't great, but it is what it is. There's an app called Smart Ice, which lets you control it remotely, see if there's any jams or any issues. That's $60 a month per machine. But then other than that, you just have electricity, and the leases, which these 2 came with leases already for the next couple of years, they include the water. So that's amazing. And the leases, if you're wondering, one of the locations is $250. That actually includes electricity and water, which is fantastic. And then the other location is $200 a month, and that includes water but not electricity. The electricity can run up to around $300 a month, so not as good as the other location, but it's still worth it if the numbers add up correctly. My plan is to run them just like he did, just for the warm months, show them down to the cool months, and see how much money they can make. Really, what I want to do is get some here in Arizona where I could run them year-round and not have to worry about shutting them down and starting them up again. So the cool story I was going to mention, I flew up there to purchase these, and he was showing us around the machine, showing us how they work, turn them on, flip fuses if they need to be flipped, stuff like that. And someone actually walked up to the machine, thought it was open because they've used it in the past and they want to use it again. So we had to inform them, not open yet, but they will be open soon. And that was fantastic because people know they're there, people want to use them. That also reminds me, this isn't cubed ice. This is actually crushed ice, but also not crushed ice like you'd get out of your fridge or something like that. It's kind of like a sheet of ice that then gets broken up. Very unique. People really like it, supposedly. And they're not reverse osmosis machines either. They are filtered a little bit, but not reverse osmosis. So for Utah, that's fine because Utah water is actually pretty good. But it is filtered a little bit and then gets made. The ice maker is actually on top of the unit, and that's what makes the ice, and then it drops down into a big hopper, and then there's conveyor belts and augers and stuff that breaks it up and moves it into a bag, and then the bag drops out. So that's about as much as I know already. I'm super excited about them. The deal was amazing. I couldn't pass it up. Even if they weren't up and running or like didn't work at all, they're still worth more than what I paid for them. So super excited. Hope you're excited for this series. I'm going to go over how much they make, what happens in the future. So if you're interested, please like and subscribe, and hope you enjoy my other videos.